सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। मोनमा मुरयार काट्टुम मा ब्रह्मवत्तु वालन சிவநிலை தவசற்சீட செரி குருவரன் சிற்கையன் உவகையோருருவன் தன்னுள் உவப்பவன் கழிமூகத்தன் அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே. உள்ளதலதுள்ள உணர்வுள்ளதோ உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலர உள்ளத்தே உள்ளதால் உள்ளமெனும் உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலவன் உள்ளத்தே உள்ளபடி உள்ளதே உள்ளல் உணர் மரண பய மிக்குளவம் மக்களரனாக மரணபவமில்லா மகேசன் சரணமே சார்வர்தம் சார்வொடுதாம் சாவுற்றார் சாவென்னம் சார்வரோ சாவாதவர் உலகுண்மையாகும் உணர்வில்லார்க்குள்ளார்க்கு உலகளவாம் உண்மை உணரார்க்கு உலகினுக்கு ஆதாரம் மாயுருவற்றாரும் உணர்ந்தார் உண்மை ஈதாகும் பேதம் இவர்க்கென் விதிமதி மூல விவேகம் இலார்க்கே விதிமதி வெல்லும் விவாதம் விதிமதிகட்கு ஓர் முதலாம் தன்னை உணர்ந்தார் அவை தனந்தார் சார்வரோ பின்னும் அவை சாற்று காணும் தனை விட்டு தான் கடவுளை காணல் காணும் மனோமயமாம் காட்சிதனை காணும் அவன் தான் கடவுள் கண்டானாம் தன் முதலை தான் முதல் போய் தான் கடவுள் அன்றி இலதால் தன்னைத்தான் காணல் தலைவன் தனைக் காணல். என்னும் பன்னூல் உண்மை என்னையெனின் தன்னைத்தான் காணலெவன் தானொன்றா காணவொணாதே தலைவர். காணலெவன் ஊனாதல்கான். So yesterday evening we saw Bhagavan making it very clear. Atma Darshanam is Ishvara Darshanam. So realizing oneself or seeing oneself is seeing God, because God is shining as I in the heart. Even there it is not seeing or knowing. As we have seen earlier in Upadesa Undiyar also, there is no two I, one to know and other to be known. Onrai olirvadal, it is non-dual. Therefore, it is not even knowing the self. If you cannot know the self, what is the question of knowing God? So what is knowing God? Unadalhan, meaning you become food for God or for the self. You means the ahankara, the ego sense. That should become food for the Almighty. So that is real realization or the liberation. So Unadal Khan, that I should go, that is realization. Now, 22nd verse. This is another masterpiece of Bhagavan. Nowhere you will get such verses. Madikkoli tandam Madikkul olirum Madiyinai ulle madakki Padiyil Padithidudalandri Padiyai madiyal Madithidudhalengan madi Madikkoli tandam Koli tandam Madikkul olirum Madiyinai ulle madakki Padiyil Padithidudhalandri Padiyai madiyal Madithidudhalengan madi. Madi means here buddhi. Madi. Buddhi. Where is the Lord shining? He is shining in the heart actually, but he expresses through buddhi as the Chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness or reflected light. So that is what he is saying. Madikku olidandu. So the Lord gives light to the Manabuddhi and he shines Madikkul olirum. He shines inside the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Meaning Madikku olidandu means he is the one who gives light for the mind to know. Adha Madikku olidandu. Apra Madikkul olirum means he expresses in the Vijnanamaya Kosha and then he functions through the mind and senses. Madikku olidandu Madikkul olirum Madiyinai ulle madakki. So what needs to be done? That Madiyinai ulle madakki. So that buddhi or the thoughts should be turned inwards. Madiyinai ulle madakki. Madakki means what? It has to be turned. அது எப்படி சொல்றது மடக்கிய? உள்ளே மடக்கி. பதியில் பதித்திடுதல் அன்றி. And you have to abide in that pati. Pati means in the heart who is shining as I, the self. Self is called as padi here. So he has to be kept inside the heart. Padiyil padithidudal. Firmly he has to be kept in the Padi. Padir Padithidal Nri, Padiyai Madiyal Madithidal Engan. Padiyai Madiyal means that Padi, the self or the God, Madiyal Madithidal Engan. How can you measure him or how can you know him through your buddhi? Madi, please think. The last Madi is think. So he has now played with the word called Madi and Padi. So Madi means buddhi. Padi means the Lord or the Lord of the heart, the self. So what he is saying here, what you have to do, he is expressing as Vijnana, inside Vijnanamaya Kosha as the reflected light. And he is illuminating everything, objects of the world, through the mind. So now, Ulahu Vittu Visana. So giving up all the objects, emotions and thoughts. Odi Udu Ordala Mundivara, Unmai Unachia Mundivara. You have to turn the attention within. Madhya Ulle Madaki. You have to turn the attention within and Padiyil Padithidal. And you should be rooted in that self. How? By inquiring who am I? You have to be firmly abiding. Padithidal means firmly abiding in that I. Without understanding this, if you try to know God or know the self, Padiyai Madiyal Madithidal Engan. How can you know the God with your buddhi which is limited and which creates the Bheda Bhavana and which creates the samsara? So with that Madi, you cannot know the Padi. Madiyal Padiyai Madithidal Engan. How can you measure him or know him? Please think. So the same idea is repeated again and again. So that is the core idea of Arunachala Tattvam. Buddhi Ahankaram Pulambeida Vongum Maddi Idayam Dan Marayavanum Malum Natta Ariyad Nalam Kulaya Annar Matti Yoliranna Malayinadu Meye. Brahma and Vishnu could not fathom him. How can you and I? The buddhi cannot fathom him, cannot know him. That is the main idea. See, of the Arunachala Kshetram, that is the main idea. The Puranic story is one thing. What is the truth behind the story? That is the idea. So, in any sadhak's, any seeker's life, this is the last hurdle actually. He wants to somehow know. He wants to know the truth. That is why when he is meditating, he checks again and again. Is it the self or is it the ultimate experience? If you are checking always, then you are there to check. You have to go. You need not check anything. We have to follow our Guru's advice. He says, inquire who am I. That's all. Keep the mind or the attention in the I and let everything happen by itself. We need not check with anything, whether this is the experience or have I reached. Why? Why to check all those things? We need not feel anxious. Who is feeling anxious is a problem. So just remain there and everything is done. So you can do only that. You cannot know him. So the anxiety is, I have given up everything for him, to know him. So I have to know him. So have I known him or will I know him? So this is the hurdle. I want to know him. Here very clearly he says, you cannot know him. So you can remain firmly rooted in him, but there is no need to know him or see him as such. Because very idea of seeing or knowing involves the knower and the seer. Who has to go? So with the limited intellect, how can you know the infinite? Or he is the one who is giving light to the intellect. With his light, the intellect is functioning. So how the intellect know him? The source. Once again, like the battery and the torch light, trying to understand the battery. So this is the main idea. If you see then through, this is the main idea is repeating again and again. Nobody has hammered this idea this much, Bhagavan has hammered it through, in and through. Because this is the last hurdle. You have to give it up. Even you have to let go this idea of I want moksha, moksha, moksha. If I goes, then that is moksha. So this is the most beautiful verse. Madinai ulle madakki. So the madi means the thoughts have to be turned within without giving any value to the other thoughts. Padir padittiddal. And you should be rooted in the self. Adai vittitu. Without doing that, if you go on intellectualizing, how is it possible? How to know the self? Whether this or that? Padiyai madiyal madittiddal engan. Therefore, study of scripture is good. And contemplating is you get clarity of the goal, of the path and everything. But after that, you have to sit and dive deep within. If that is not done, nothing is done. Only when you dive or when that is gone, the truth is revealed. So this is reiterated again and again everywhere. Padiyai madiyal madittiddal engan. How can you know him or measure him through your intellect? Madi, please think. The last madi is think about it. So when the Puranas, when they talk about some stories, the stories may be cock and bull story, whatever. But the idea what is revealed is so wonderful. See, for the Pamara Jana, for the illiterate folks, they cannot understand this tattva. So it is revealed through a story, beautiful story. Brahma and Vishnu, they were quarreling with each other. And they wanted to prove themselves who is the greatest. And then Lord appeared in the form of light. This story is beautiful now. How can Brahma and Vishnu fight, quarrel? Are they like us? That is not the idea. The idea is to establish that they both were not able to know. Meaning, even the Trimurtis, when those Murtis cannot know, how can the Alpa Jiva know? The truth cannot be known as an object of our understanding. That is the idea. You understand? So please, whenever you read any story in Puranas, then you should think deeply, what is the import, spiritual import. There would be something there, sitting there, waiting to reveal itself, and that is wonderful. Even the story of, this mambalam, this mango. Narada gave the mango to Lord Shiva, and Ganesha and Subramanya wanting to have the mango. Whoever went around the world first, they would get the mango. See, it has got a deeper significance. I would let you know later whenever the opportunity comes. It is not an ordinary story. I have found it to be a very fascinating story. A deep meaning. Like that, there is so much deep meaning inside all the Purana Kathas. And then now starts, I think, the Vichara. I don't know whether officially it starts, but I feel now it starts. Nanenritteham. No. Wait. Right? Okay. Nanenritteham. Naviladurakat. Nanindendrarum navilvadillai. நான் ஒன்று எழுந்தபின் எல்லாம் எழுமிந்த நான் எங்கு எழுமென்று நுண்மதியாலென் நான் என்றித்தேகம் நவிலாதுரக்கத்து நான் என்றென்றாரும் நவில்வதில்லை. நான் ஒன்று எழுந்த பின் எல்லாம் எழுமிந்த நான் எங்கு. எழுமென்று நுண்மதியாலென். நான் என்று இத்தேகம் நவிலாது. Deham means the body will not say I. நான் என்று இத்தேகம் நவிலாது. The body is inert, jada. By itself, it will not say I, or it cannot feel I. When the jiva departs, when it's dead and gone, the body cannot feel anything. The body cannot know anything. It is a dead corpse. Now also this body by itself is dead corpse. Shavam only. Only because Shivam is functioning through it, it is functioning as if it is alive. So, நான் என்று இத்தேகம் நவிலாது. The body will never say I. That is the first idea. Okay. உறக்கத்து நான் இன்று என்று ஆரும் நவில்வதில்லை. ஆழ்ந்த உறக்கத்து, in deep sleep, ஆழ்ந்த உறக்கத்து நான் இன்று என்று ஆரும் நவில்வதில்லை. Nobody says I was not. In the deep sleep, nobody says I was not. Meaning what? In the deep sleep, we may not know anything. But when we get up, we say, I slept well. I slept well, had a peaceful sleep, and I really enjoyed it. Meaning there is some. The body is not in the deep sleep. The mind is not in the deep sleep. But when you get up, you always reiterate, I slept peacefully. I enjoyed it. So it means the self is always there. You cannot say the self had also perished. No. The ego self may not be available for manifestation. But somehow the self was always there. நான் ஒன்று எழுந்த பின். So from the deep sleep, நான் ஒன்று எழுந்த பின், when the I rises, it said, in the waking or in the dream, நான் ஒன்று எழுந்த பின் எல்லாம் எழும். Everything rises. See, Bhagavan makes it very clear. No need for any explanation here. If you know Tamil, if you can split and read, it is self-explanatory. From the deep sleep, when you come back to the waking, நான் ஒன்று எழும். The I rises its head. நான் எழுந்த பின் எல்லாம் எழும். Everything rises. The idea of space, time, causation, the world, and all our vasanas, the attachments, everything rises. எழும். இந்த நான் எங்கு எழும்? So from where this I rises? நான் எங்கு எழும் என்று நுண்மதியால் என். Now with your subtle intellect, you inquire. En means here inquire or find out. Think. So first of all, Bhagavan is negating the body to be the self. So he is saying, நான் என்று தேகம் நவிலாது. Right? The body will not say I, so forget about that body. The idea that I am the body, you forget about that. He has negated it. Deham, naham. Okay, then koham, who am I? What is this I? Then Bhagavan says, in the deep sleep, there was no I, but still the self was there. But when you come to waking or dream, something rises its head, its hood, let us say. So the I rises. I means identifying the body, something rises as I, Nam. So when the I rises, everything else rises. See, this is the glory, this is the beauty. We have never thought about this. If not for Bhagavan or the Shastras, we would never think about it. We always take it for granted that the world was always there, or the world is always there. The world was functioning. Night shift போறவங்க போய் வேலை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க, நம்ம தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். People who are working in the night shift, they are working, and I am sleeping here. So when I get up, I once again become part of the world. Meaning, I see the world, I transact with the world. Maybe that fellow who was doing night shift may go to sleep, but I am functioning. So the world is always there, everything is happening, and I am transacting in the world when I get up. This is how we feel. So I was born in particular date, I am living my life here, and I may pass away, but still the world continues. That is why we say we have to document everything, archives, so that the history is made and people will refer to the history and know about the history, the geography, blah blah blah. So a very concrete world idea is built around us, and we feel we come into the world and see the world. This is a traditional thought. Nobody can question this. The whole world believes this way only. But nobody has seen the world apart from thoughts. So only when the mind rises, there is the world. So when the mind means I, because the essence of mind is I only. So when the I rises, the world rises. When the I perishes means what? Subsides, the world also subsides. This is a revolutionary idea, and this cannot be digested that easily. It is not that there is Srishti, the creation you see, Drishti, since because you see there is world. My God, பூனை கண்ணை மூடிட்டா எல்லாம் இருட்டாயிடுமா? When the cat closes its eye, will everything become dark? You can ask. There is a paramodi, there is a saying like that, you know. In Tamil there is a saying. So if you don't see, then it won't be there. Yes, this is how it is. If the eye is not raising its head and seeing a world is not. See how the Maya functions, see. People around us, they say, come and tell you, when you were sleeping, I was working. When you were sleeping, I was working. I was watching film. So our faith strengthens. Yes, the world is functioning always. See, these people are dying. You also will die one day. See, he is born. You also will be born. Or you were also born. So like that, our faith is strengthened. And the parents, the society, everybody strengthens this idea only. There is the world, and you have to live up to your standards, your family prestige, this, that, you have to study, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to shine in the world, all those stuff. And how that Mahatma lived, how this person lived, that person lived. So we all know those persons came into the world and they had gone. So similarly, I have come and I will go. So the world was always functioning. How long it was functioning? Billions of years it has been functioning. Oh, is that so? Yes, yes. See, they have found a galaxy or found some sort of objects in the space. The light has started some few years back, and now it is reached. I have found out through some methods. So there are objects in the space far away in the galaxy, and we are speck, nothing in the world. All these ideas are built. These are all ideas of the waking mind. All are ideas of the waking mind, fed by the waking mind only. Because the people in the waking mind, waking state, are part of the waking mind only. So everything is fed to you. Swamiji, please tell me, this chirping of the bird, are you hearing? Yes, I am hearing. We are also hearing. There is a word, no? For both of us common. I am also hearing the chirping of the bird. You are also hearing the chirping of the bird. Then it means the chirping of the bird is real in the world now. How can you say that it is mind's projection? The The waking mind creates the others, and the waking mind tells you through others that the bird is chirping, they are also hearing, I am also hearing, everybody is hearing, therefore there is bird, therefore there is hearing of the chirping of the bird. See, this is very hard to digest. I agree with you. Very difficult. And you may just brush it aside saying, this is all muttal tanamark. It's all stupid. Or what is this philosophy? Nonsense. What is this philosophy? Somebody coming and telling you that there is no world. It's all mind's creation. Can it be accepted or what? Thank God, Bhagavan, like great giant like Bhagavan has come and given it. That is why we feel little hesitant to question or to brush it aside. If this Swami had come and told you, he said, "Onnum puriyadu, nattu konjam kalandu pochu." That is why the Shastras are revered so much, because all these great masters have told you the same thing. So it is true. See, my Guru also through his experience, he has told the same thing. See, that is why Shastras are revered. This is undigestible. See, when this is so, there is a God and you are miserable jiva, pray to Him, He will save you. If you do something bad, you will go to hell. If you do something good, you will go to heaven. That is all. What is there to know? Is this a religion? Not even LKG, UKG. What is this? There is a God. You pray to Him. He will take care. Otherwise, you will go to hell. What is this religion? Imagine, this is, where is this thought? And where is that thought? And you say, that is the most beautiful. Aha, hoo, hoo, what nonsense. And here they say, since you see the world, that is world. But science is slowly moving towards that. As I told you, the recent Nobel Prize winners, they have found out, so I have to go and check. I have to really study deeply what they have been telling. I just heard here and there that they also are moving towards that. Only because you are seeing there are particles, there are world, that is world. Okay, Naan ezhundabin ellam ezhum. So when the I rises, everything rises. Where from the I rises, you check, you find out. This is what Bhagavan is saying. Naan undru ezhundabin ellam ezhum. When the I rises, everything rises. And the Naan engu ezhum endru nun madiyalen. Where from that I rises, now you inquire with your subtle intellect. Because with gross intellect you cannot. Gross intellect is always extrovert. With your subtle intellect, you inquire from where this I thought is arising. So this is very clear. Bhagavan's philosophy is very clear. From Bhagavan's philosophy, you need not worry about the huge world and the consciousness behind the huge world, all those stuff. Because Bhagavan has compressed this world into a thought. And thought also is compressed into I. And I you inquire. That's what Bhagavan says. So there is no question of the world outside, so that you worried about God, the consciousness which is behind the world, and the consciousness functioning through this mind, how they are one. The Aikya Bodha, you need not worry in Bhagavan's case. If you can't digest this fact, if you believe in an external world solid, then all these things should be taught to you. Yes, there is a world, there is a consciousness functioning through the world, and the consciousness functioning through the individual self, and that consciousness is this consciousness. Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana. Through all these Lakshanas, you can prove that Brahman is Atma only. All this traditional Vedantic thought is for dumb-witted, dull-witted, dumb people who cannot understand. If you are smart enough to understand that the world is nothing but thought, and thought is nothing but I, and who am I, where this I arises, there ends the story. Whenever there is a question about the world, you say, hey, it is nothing but the mind. Mind is nothing but the I. If you know the truth of the I, everything is known. See, this is Bhagavan. That is why I am so fascinated about Bhagavan. You need not break your head unnecessarily about everything. And if you go into the traditional Vedanta thought, you get lost. And I suppose people want you to get lost, especially these Panditas. So that you are scared to touch these scriptures. That is what they want. They want to keep as their own sole possession. They also have not studied fully. They want to preach and make a business out of it. They don't want to share. They don't want you to know actually. They want to go on teaching, but they don't want you to know. Because that is their business. Like us. If you all know everything, you will not come for the next class. So we want to teach always and we don't want you to know. And we say you cannot know. But you should come to know. But you cannot know. So, how wonderful this idea. So, just forget about the world, forget about God, forget about the philosophies, forget about all sadhanas, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, samadhi, all those things you forget. Now what you have to do, turn the attention and seek from where this I is arising. There is a feeling of I. நான் இருக்கேங்கிற ஐடியா எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கு. அந்த ஐடியா வந்து மனசை வச்சுட்டே இருந்தா போதும். Even asking where from is only a help to go deep. Nisargadatta says, you keep the mind, attention on the I thought. Who am I? I thought. So that takes you to the ultimate. So that is all need to be done. Full stop. There is nothing need to be done. See, after studying all the scriptures and Bhagavan for all these years, contemplating, I have come to this conclusion very clear in my heart. There is nothing need to be done except giving the attention to the self. When you give the attention to yourself, that is the sadhana. That is it. But the mind will not allow you. The vasanas are there. That will throw you out. If you are weak-minded, you will always go with it. And you give so much of justification. Say, ha, hu, all those things. But if you are a real dhira, you say, shut up. And then you sit. If somebody can do that, they are great. If they cannot do it, they are ordinary. That's it. Swamiji, you can say all those things, but we are grihasthas. Even if I want to try, my wife will not allow me to sit quietly. My husband will always suspect me. என்ன செய்யறா இவன் தெரியலையே, என்னமோ நடக்குதுங்க, ஏன் வயிற்று பொழப்புக்கே ப்ராப்ளம் வந்துருமோ. So the husband will not allow the wife to sit. And wife will get scared. இவர் வாட்டு எங்கேயாவது ஓடி போயிடுவாரோ என்னை விட்டுட்டு தனியா. So I will see to it that he will not sit. I will see to it that he will not pursue anything. He should always be tied up to me. See, this is what happens. But if you are a dhira, you should divorce your wife. Ayyo, Swamiji, what are you talking? What I mean to say is not actually divorce the wife. What I mean is you should not give so much value to the prattlings of these jivas, ignorant jivas, who are trying to obstruct you from the path. Once when you are firm, nobody can stop you. You are not firm. Your mind is chapala. You are putting the blame on others. You are not firm. You are not like Nachiketa. You are full of chapala. And that you, adhyasam madri, adala eti, wife mele, yaar mele eti paakradala. You put the akshada on somebody else. But actually you don't have that uran. That is the problem. Not the wife, not the husband. If you are firm, nobody can shake you. Because we want so much from the world, we can't do it. Okay, you think through your subtle thought. இப்போ அம்மா பயந்துட்டாங்க. இப்போ என்ன சுவாமிஜி இப்படிலாம் சொல்கிறாரு, இப்படிலாம் தான் போதனை செய்கிறாரு எங்கள் ஹஸ்பண்டுக்குன்னு பயந்துட்டாங்க. இனிமேல் நான் அனுப்பவே மாட்டேன். So both of you can together go up. சடவுடல் நான் என்னாது சச்சித்து உதியாது உடலளவாம் நான் ஒன்றுதிக்கும் இடையில் இது சிச்சட கிரந்தி பந்த சீவனுட்பமையகந்தை இச்சமு சாரமணமென் சடவுடல் நான் என்னாது சச்சித்து உதியாது உடலளவாம் நான் ஒன்றுதிக்கும் இடையில் இது சிச்சட கிரந்தி பந்த சீவனுட்பமையகந்தை இச்சமு சாரமணமென் சடவுடல் நான் என்னாது. சடவுடல், the udal, the deham, the body which is sadam, the inert, நான் என்னாது, it will not think I. So the body is not saying I. Be clear about that. And Satchit, the true self, udiyadu, it will not rise or it will not fall. It is infinite. And it doesn't undergo any modification. It never waxes or wanes, or it will never rise or fall. In between, not the body which is jada, or not the self with its Chaitanya Swarupa, in between something rises, saying I, and taking this to be me, I. See? உடலளவாம் நான் ஒன்று உதிக்கும். அதாவது hugging this body as I, one thing rises in between. இடையில் இது means in between, one thing rises, உதிக்கும். உடலளவாம் நான் என்று ஒன்று உதிக்கும், which says I. See how clear it is. Body is inert, it will not say I. The self is I, but it will not udikadadu, it will not rise, it will not fall. But in between the body and the actual Chit Swarupam, something in between, which is neither the Jada Vastu nor the Chaitanya Vastu. Unholy wedding between the matter and the spirit, Gurudev says. Unholy wedding between the matter and the spirit. Something in between which takes the form as its own and says I, and it rises. It rises, says I, it asserts I. Who is that I? One who is speaking from this. I am talking about one who is speaking from this, and one who is listening from there. That is the I which we are talking about. Udalalavam nanun rudikkum idayil idu, idayila vandadu idayila poidum. Idayil idu, in between one rises. So that is called as Sit Chada Granthi. Granthi means a knot between the Chit and Jada. So there is a knot between Chit and Jada. Meaning what? Jada is the body, Chit is the Swarupam. அது ரெண்டையும் ஒன்று மண்ணா அப்படி கட்டி போடுற மாதிரி ஒரு knot. There is a knot to tie, which cannot be tied. The body and the mind. In such, because body is a different level of reality and Chit Swarupam is a different reality, it cannot come together. But somehow it's a Maya's karya or whatever it is, somehow there is a confusion in the mind, and that is called Chit Chada Granthi. I am this body, idea is called as Chit Chada Granthi. I belongs to the self, this akara belongs to the body. So somehow these two comes together. That is called Chit Chada Granthi. That is called as Bandham, bondage. There are different names for this. And that is called as Sivan, the Jiva Bhava. That is called as Nutpamei, subtle body. That is called a subtle body. Because of this adhyasa, the confusion, there comes a subtle body. Ahandai, that is the ego sense. Ichamusaram, that is samsar. Manam, that is mind. Yen, think about it. Yen means think about it. So this I which rises in between, which is neither belonging to the world of Jada or the world of Chit Swarupa, that is the bondage, and that is ego sense, that is bandham, that is samsar, that is called as mind, and that is Chit Jada Granthi. So that is the evil, that is ignorance, that is Maya Karya. That is the root cause of all our suffering. So who is the root cause of all suffering? I. I am the root cause of all suffering. So how the suffering will end? When I die. Only when I die, my suffering will end. So commit suicide. Suicide means what? The ego should go. There are two ways. One, to inquire, who am I? Or other, to offer everything at the feet of the Lord. My likes, my dislikes, and whatever I want from the world, asha, abhilasha, everything you surrender at the feet of the Lord. The I and the mind, everything. Then also the ego goes. When the ego gets hammered again and again, it will go. It will loosen itself and will go. When the ego is pampered again and again, it will not go. It will assert itself. A true guru will not pamper your ego. If he is pampering your ego, it means he is not a true guru. So the ego should go. So this verse is so beautiful. I always quote this verse. To explain what is ego sense or ahankara, this is the best verse. The body will not proclaim I, and the self will not rise or fall. In between something rises saying this body as I. That is ahankara. You understand? A very clear definition of ahankara. And another way to define ahankara, ego sense. See, this ego sense is the villain. So Bhagavan is clearly defining this ego sense. What is this? How pinpointed he is defining it. See, this kind of definition you will not get anywhere this clearly. See, so that's why I feel somehow everything is vague. When you come to Bhagavan, you get such a clarity. You get such a clarity. He is something else. He is not ordinary Guru. He is not ordinary Mahatma or Jnani. He is something else. See, nowhere I have got this kind of a clarity. From Upanishads also, I have not got this kind of a clarity, to be honest. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is a practical guide for living, no doubt about that. But about Adhyatma, to gain this kind of clarity, where will you go? I am not underestimating other Mahatmas. They are all great in their own ways. But when it comes to Shastra, when it comes to Atma Vichara, he is the king. Bhagavan is the king. And he has not expressed himself as a king, as an ordinary human being. But he is a king. Urupatri undam. Urupatri nirkum. Urupatri undumiha vongum. Uruvittu. Urupatrum தேடினால் ஓட்டம் பிடிக்கும். உருவற்ற பேயகந்தை ஓர். உருப்பற்றி உண்டாம். உருப்பற்றி நிற்கும். உருப்பற்றி உண்டு மிக ஓங்கும் உருவிட்டு உருப்பற்றும் தேடினால் ஓட்டம் பிடிக்கும் உருவற்ற பேயகந்தை ஓர். இந்த அகந்தை இருக்கே, this ego, this I, small I, the ego sense, உருவற்ற பேய். It has got no form of its own, like a ghost. Pei means ghost. It is like a ghost. It has got no form of its own. உண்மையிலேயே இது பேய் தான். பேயா படுத்துது என்ன இசைனா. So it is like a ghost only. What ghost will do? It has got no form of its own. It will enter into somebody's body and then it dances. That is what people say now. So this ego also is like a ghost. It has no form of its own. Okay. Urupatri undam. Holding on to some form, it raises its head. That is the body. Without the idea of body, the ego cannot survive, cannot thrive. But Bhagavan says, when I say body, deham, I mean all the panchakoshas, he says. Though it is said that way, Bhagavan again and again emphasizes the gross body only. Because that gives a continuity. Please understand. The gross body gives the continuity. That I am one. This. ஒரு சாலிடான ஒரு கண்டினியூட்டியாக இருக்குது. It is hard to break. So, urupatri undam. So, holding on to one or other form, it is born. It rises. Urupatri undam. And how it thrives? Urupatri nirkum. How it establishes itself means, it establishes itself by holding on to a form only. That is this form, it holds on continuously, saying I am this, and that is how it nirkum. It establishes itself. Urupatri undu miha ongum. Aha. See, Kanakamma and others have interpreted in different way, but my interpretation or my understanding is so clear. Urupatri undu miha ongum means it eats the forms in the world outside. Urupatri undu miha. Undu means what? It eats. What it eats? The other forms. What are the other forms? Whom I like. They are all mine. My people. My wife. My children. My property. Mine. So these are all the forms it eats and it thrives. Undu miha ongum. Koluthu ongum. So more the attachment towards the world, more the ego. More the disturbances, more the samsar. Patru porulatrar paranda manamum mutru vidum shanti tanagave oindu. So it eats the forms and then it thrives. When you starve it, not giving any forms, meaning not attached to anything in the world, it cannot survive. It has to go. If somebody is starving, say let us say for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, he can survive. But continuously if he is starved, he has to die. Similarly, this ego can survive only through eating forms. We have been eating forms daily, every day, continuously, every moment, through attachment. Mine, ennudiyadu, mamata. That is the food for this ahankar. You understand? Urupatri undu mihavongum. It becomes really fat. So if you want to give up ego, if you don't give up attachment to the world, it will not go. As simple as that. See, it is like trying to cross the river on the back of the crocodile. No, Swamiji. I can be attached to this world also, and I will have God also. See, it is like this, I always remember this example. There is a big patram, anda, let us say, a big barrel, full of water, full at least half water, let us say. It is all muddy water. So you want but a clear water from there. What you should do? You take a big stick and stir it continuously, you get very clear water. Is it not so? What you're nodding your head. When you stir the water continuously, will you get a clear water? No. You have to allow the water to settle down. Then you get the clear water. I want clear water. Now I am going to get clear water. Stir it. How stupid it is. When you allow the mind to cool down, to die its own death, it will die. But you will not allow it. Because of your attachment, because of your foolishness, you will not allow the mind to settle down. You continuously stir the mind through attachments. Nan yanadu. Raga dvesha. That is why Bhagavan says, Viruppu veruppu verukkattakkana, he says. That is why he says, Nan yanadu ediri. That is the real enemy. So holding on to Nan yanadu, if you want the Nan to go, it will never go. That is why it is said, Asayarmin, Isunodayanam Asayarmin. See, this one thing we forget, We are very comfortable in our comfort zone. We want our people around. We want our pillow. The smell of our pillow to get a good sleep. And we talk about renunciation. We talk about, knowing the self and all. Can never happen. So attached to so many small little things we are attached. Forget about getting attached to big things like the family, the wife, the children and all. We are so attached to small things. Now you see, in this class, forget about me, I have to sit here only. All the people sit in their own respective chairs. That is also another way of attachment only. Amma sits here. Rama sits there only. She sits there only. I have been watching for the past how many days, and he sits there only. He sits here only. If something happens, if she sits there, this Amma will get angry. As if it is my place. This is my chair. How can she sit here? This is very unfair. Get up. It is not your chair. No, it is my place. No, it is my place. Even if you go to the Annakshetra also, you find the same. People somehow, in the Maadu Madri, Ange Nikod. So you will go to the same place and sit. See, like that we behave. We are attached to every small little thing I tell you. I want only the first room. Why first room? No, I want only first room. I have been staying there only. I am comfortable there. Don't give me the second room, please. Why? Is there a ghost in the second room? No. Please give me the first room. Why first room? I am comfortable. I am used to the first room. What is there in the first room? There is special attachment for the first room. Why is special attachment? Other rooms are taken by some people. The first room is still the ashram's room or Swamiji's room. So I will go and stay there. All this kind of attachment only. First room I want. You have revealed the secret. Now everybody wants first room. My mind is so therefore, Urupatri undumiga vongum. Uruvittu urupatrum. It will not leave any form unless it has already holding on to another form. Only holding on to another form, it leaves this form. How wonderfully put. Meaning, see, it is not that you go from this body to another body. Actually, you hold on to another body and you give up this body. என்ன சுவாமி சொல்றீங்க? அப்படிதான் சொல்றாங்க. So it holds on to something or other. Otherwise it will not thrive. If this body goes, another body will hold on. Uruvittu urupatrum. So it gives up this body and takes another body. So that is what it means. Uruvittu urupatrum. So korangu mari inga tavite irukum. From this body it jumps onto another body. Like a pay only. Pay na. Have you seen ghost? Every day I am seeing Swamiji in my house, sleeping next to me always. So this ghost, it cannot survive without a form. It has no form of its own. So it has to take some form or other. That is why the world is nothing but name and form. It cannot thrive without forms. So, urupatrum, uruvittu urupatrum. Thedinal otam pudikkum. When you inquire what is this pay, what is this ego, who am I? If you inquire, it cannot stand inquiry. It cannot stand inquiry. Otam pudikkum, it will run away. ஒரே ஒரு வழிதான் இருக்கு இந்த பேயை ஓட்டுறதுக்கு. என்ன செய்யணும்? யார் நீன்னு கேட்கணும். நான் யார் அப்படின்னு கேட்டால் ஓட்டம் பிடிக்கும். It will run away. Only with inquiry, this will perish. This will run away. When you don't inquire, when you don't do inquiry, or avicharavan, one who is not having any vicharam, for him this ego will thrive. That is 99% of people in the world, 99.99 people. ஏதோ ரேர் 1 or 2 they really inquire. நான் ஏன் இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்படுறேன், நான் யாரு, நான் ஏன் பிறந்தேன், நான் யாரு அப்படின்னு கேட்கறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ரேர். ஸோ டு இன்கொயர் ஹூ ஆம் ஐ, that is the only solution to take care of this ghost. தேடினால், when you search for it, ஓட்டம் பிடிக்கும். It will run away. See, traditional story narrated by Bhagavan. இதை சொல்லாமல் இந்த verse சொல்லவே மாட்டாங்க யாரும். Traditional stories, there was one Narayanan. You know, there was a marriage going on, wedding, and this Narayanan, he was the hero of that wedding ceremony. He was here, there, doing this, doing everything. He was the live wire of the wedding. So the groom side, they were thinking, oh, he is a very important person of the bride side. Maybe we don't know. So let us be respectful. And the bride side was thinking, maybe he was from the groom side. So because they don't interact much during the wedding time, it's all festivities. So this fellow was really running riot here, there, everywhere, doing everything, welcoming everybody as if he is the hero. So the next day, they say Sambandhi Kadakkaran Solong in South India. The both of the side will sit together and talk and exchange some pleasantries. Then they were inquiring, hey, who is that Narayan? Wonderful person. How much work he was doing? The groom side was asking. The bride side was wondering, oh, he is not part of your group? No, he is not part of our group. Who is this Narayanan? They started inquiring. So this Narayanan, he has taken away all the jewels and whatever he has stolen, and he ran. Before they could find out who is Narayanan, Narayan disappeared. Narayan absconding. As long as you don't inquire about Narayanan, Narayan is the hero. He doesn't belong to the groom side or bride side. He doesn't belong to the body or the Chit Swarupam. He doesn't belong to both. But he acts as if he belongs to everybody and he is everything. But if you don't inquire about him, he will really run riot. When you start, who is this fellow? He doesn't belong to the groom side or bride side. Who is this fellow? Then he cannot stand. Because he will be caught. Through inquiry, his falsehood will be revealed. This ego is false. Through proper inquiry, the falsehood will be revealed. So, otam pudikkum. Thedinal, otam pudikkum. He will run away. He cannot stand inquiry. Uruvatrappe, this ghost has no form of its own. Or, please understand. Or means please understand. Please know, this ghost has no form of its own. Uruvatrappe. So here the ego is compared to the ghost. Why? Because it has no form of its own. It can thrive only holding on to some form or other. Urupatri undumiha vongum. Holding on to some form or other, it eats forms. It eats form. And it thrives. Uruvittu urupatrum. It cannot survive without form. Thedinal otam pudikkum. When you inquire, when you search for the source, who is he? He cannot stand. He will perish. He will run away. That is this ghost called as ego cells. We will stop here and continue in the evening class. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.